All right, so this video is going to cover a few different areas. Um, First, it's going to talk about the try catch and working with transactions, and then it's going to go into how to create an add, update, and delete store procedure that you can use in place of multiple store procedures. So we have here the AP database and the common tables that came with the database. We also have store procedures, and you don't see any in here. Cancel that. Refresh, no store procedures. So let's begin with creating a few things. The first thing I want to create is a table that is going to store the various errors that I might encounter that are unexpected in the store procedures. First column name will be the ID for the error, so it'll be error log ID. It's going to be an int. We'll make that a key field, and we want to set this as index specification is identity true. Okay. The next will represent every aspect of the error object that we can pull in. So I'll use the exact same wording that you'll see when we actually create the error. So error number is an int. Severity, an int. Error state, int. We'll do all the ints then. Error line, int. And error procedure. We'll call this varchar, probably 50 is fine. Error message. We'll do this varchar 500. And then we want something like an error date. That's going to be a date time. And we want to make a default of get date. And we can have something like a fixed date, also date time. This time I'm going to allow nulls. So if once something is added, there's obviously no fixed date. And as the programmer, developer fixes errors, he can set that fixed date. All right, that's it. So with this, I want to save this table. We're going to call it error log. I don't want to save that script. Okay. Next, what I want to do is I want to have a generic store procedure that adds whatever the current error is to that table. So let me refresh my tables. And there it is. I'll open it up so we can see each of the fields. So under store procedures, right click. I want a new store procedure. Now again, this is going to look a little different than most of the people using SQL Server, because I'm using Microsoft SQL Managed Server Management Studio, and you're using the .NET interface. So all you need to know is it's close enough. You'll have this data down here basically. Okay, that's where you start. All right, so this this procedure is going to be called SP record error. And we don't need anything here, no parameters. We don't need to set no count on because we're not selecting. And the begin and end, again, if I can take this all off so it'll look closer to what you're used to seeing. But in the end, it's the same information. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to check to make sure, well, we're not going to check, we're going to enclose this insert into a try. So I'm going to begin try and try, begin catch and catch. So I'm just doing this because I don't care if it errors out. I really don't care if it errors out. I just don't want to flare up another error. And all I'm going to do here is I'm going to insert into the error log, which I'm not seeing on this, but that's okay. It's right there, error log. We can do values or we can do a select. Either one will work fine here. So I believe I did select in class today, so we'll keep that. And we're going to first fill out the error log. So go ahead and you can put this on pause, and I will copy and paste. And so what we have here are all the fields that are in your table. It doesn't have to be in the same order. State, I have line number next, but here I have procedure. It's irrelevant as long as when we're inserting our records, our values, then we have them in the same order. Okay, so I'm going to select error number, and this is a method. Error severity, also a method. State, procedures next, line, and finally message. So this is what I am trying to insert. So when this is called, we'll insert these fields. Okay, and that's all it is going to take to do that. Let's go ahead and save. Now you'll execute. I'll execute here. Let's see. Error number, int, var binary. So as you can see right here and here, I wasn't paying attention and I put var binary. Did not mean to do that. Var char, these two should be. So let's go ahead and fix that. Right click, design, and these are supposed to be var char. All right, so save that. All right, so this actually brings up a good error log here. So when you see something like this, there's a setting that we can set that will allow us to make these changes to this table. All right, so we need to go to, if I can remember exactly where this is, it's going to be Tools, Options, and it's going to be in Lead Designer. Let me text transaction log. Nope, not in there. Nope. So under designers, yeah, here it goes. Prevent saving changes that require table recreation. So, so let's move that back up. So under options, tools, options, designers, tables and database designers, this setting right here, you want to uncheck that. So this was actually a good thing to come up. I always have mine set, but this is a new database um, management studio, so it was already preset like this. So you uncheck it and you'll be fine from that point on. I'll say OK. And then I'll hit save again, and it does it. Now I have also something set up that will flag the actual creation of the script. I don't need to save this one. That's a discussion for later on. All right, so now this is saved with varchar, and we're good to go. I'm going to close that up. I'm going to go ahead and execute this again, and I have my store procedure created. Now in .NET, these will come in automatically. You don't have to refresh, but I'll refresh this, and you'll see that these are now varchar. And I'll see here, under store procedures, refresh, and there's my SP record error. All right, so the next thing I need to do is I like to create a store procedure that creates an error like we did today in class. So let's right click, new store procedure. We're going to call this procedure with no parameters are needed. SP, we'll call it TryCatchTransaction. Okay. And we're not going to select anything, but go ahead and keep that there. That's fine. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a transaction. And a transaction, again, is it's a way that we can record what we're doing. And if we want to, we can undo everything we recorded. And so we start with begin tran. That's our beginning. Next, I want to put everything in a try. So a try catch. So let's go ahead and do that. And try, begin catch, and catch. All right. So there's our structure. If we find that there's an error that occurs in the begin try section, then we want to undo our transaction. So to be safe, let's check if at tran count is greater than 0, which it should be. And if so, we're going to roll back the transaction. We also want to record what that error was. So let's execute that store procedure we wrote before, SP record error. Again, I'm not really sure why SQL Server Management Studio doesn't refresh quick enough, but obviously we have this store procedure. It's sitting right there. All right, so we're going to execute that SP record error. If I get down here, that's after the catch, then I may have errored out, or maybe I didn't error out. So we'll check again. If at tran count is greater than 0, that must mean that we made it through without running an error, without catching that error. So if that's the case, then what we want to do is everything that we changed up here, we want to commit that. So commit tran. And right there, this is our block that we're going to have. It's the sort of thing that you can probably copy and paste from the begin tran down to here, and do a basically a copy and paste into any other stored procedure you might have.